All right, CNT140 horizontal cabling lab. We just got done doing the horizontal cabling from our closet out to all the offices, to the boxes that are on the wall. The outlet boxes are on the wall. So let's go back to our lab over here. We are now going to take care of the patch cables in the closet. This is really something we're going to do later in the lab and semester, if you will, but we're going to continue this through so we have a full connection for these workstations. So we're going to go in the closet now and put the patch cables in for all these patch panels, all these patch panel ports. Because we did the cabling from the back of the patch panel out to the outlet boxes. We now need to cable all these patch panel ports down to the switch. Now, real quickly, just so you understand maybe the big picture here, while the cabling is terminating the patch panel, having them terminating the patch panel gives us the flexibility then of using a patch cable to take that port and connect it to a switch if it's a data connection, or maybe plug it into a different switch if it's something like an IP security camera, or maybe a phone or something like that. So it gives us the capability to plug it into the thing we need it connected to. So we literally take a patch cable from a patch panel port into the thing we need it connected to, whether it's switch A or switch B or whatever it happens to be. So we're going to do the exact same thing in our wiring closet. We're going to use straight through cables and connect our patch panel ports into the switch ports that is in there. So to do that, I'm going to click on the main wiring closet. When I do that, I actually get into the closet. I'm going to scroll over a little bit. There's actually a table down here, and then here's the equipment rack. So I'm scrolling over to the side. There's the patch panel. There is a power strip for all the power cords to plug into. Here's our switch and our server. So we need to connect all these patch panel ports to these switch ports that are here. So I'm going to use a straight through cable. I'm going to click on the patch panel. And it's going to say, what port do you want to use? Well, we're going to use the jack now because that's the port we plug into. We've already punched into the back. We're going to plug into the jack on the front. So we're going to say, okay, jack 0. We're going to click on the switch now. It says, okay, what port do you want to do? Well, we're going to use Fast Ethernet 1. So we're literally connecting this very first port here to this very first port here. And we literally see the patch cable connecting in the two. And if I hold over, it even tells you what it's connected to. Okay? This tells you what it's connected to. Jack 0, switch 0, that sort of thing. Very sneaky. Well, we're going to go right down the line. Jack 1 is going to go to port 2. Jack 2 is going to go to port 3. And we're just going to go right down the line. Okay, and I'm just going to continue it the whole way down until I've connected all 24 of those ports to the switch. Again, I'm going to pause here so you don't have to watch me do them all. I'll come back after I've plugged all my ports in. Alright, and we're back. I finished all of my patch panel cable connections down to my switch cable, or switch ports, if you will. And again, if I were to, hold my pointer over one of these patch cables here, it says, okay, this is Fast Ethernet port 23. It's going to go to patch panel 0, jack 22. So I would know exactly where it is up here. That's actually a handy little feature on here. So I've connected all of my patch cables from the patch panel to the switch. So now, take a note of all those cables, which we just did. And I can actually see, it might be a little tough. See if I can zoom in a little bit here. Once I get full connection later, there is actually link lights up here, right above all the switch ports. So later on, we're going to come back and take a look at those link lights to see that we actually do have connectivity. So it's something I'm just kind of pointing out now for later. Alrighty, so there is the closet patch cables. Let's now go to the office patch cables. So we did the closet connection. We did this patch cable here. We're now going to go out and we'll do the office. We're going to do this patch cable here from the PC to the office outlets. Okay, so to get back there, I'm just going to use this little arrow here to take me back a level. I'm out where the offices are, and I'm going to go over here to Office 1, and I'm going to click on the patch cable. I'm going to click on the outlet, and I want to do jack 0 is going to go to PC 0 to the fast Ethernet port. Over here, jack 1, that's the plug, if you will, down to my PC fast Ethernet 0, and I'm working my way up the line. Jack 2 is going to go to PC 2, and then jack 3 is going to go to PC 3. Those office computers have now had their patch cable here done. Horizontal cabling's done, closet patch cable's done, now the user patch cable here is done. And we actually should see little link lights start coming on showing a connection. Alright, again, I'm going to continue all these patch cables and I'll come back when I'm done. Alrighty, and we're back. I finished all my patch cables in all my offices, from my PCs to my outlets, and I just kind of worked systematically around until I got all the connections. And if we zoom in just a little bit, I'll go once or twice here, you'll see next to all the PCs I do have a green triangle link light. So it's showing now that we have the horizontal cable, the patch cable in the closet, and the patch cable here. There is a valid layer 1 connection now the whole way over to the switch. And again, just kind of putting this in perspective, in my house I don't need to do this because my patch cable can go from my PC right to the router that's sitting, 5 feet away, if you will. That's how my house is. I'm looking right now at my router. But in a corporate environment or school environment or a large building environment, we can't do that. We're not going to run a 150-foot patch cable down the hall and plug it in. It doesn't work that way. So you put this structure of cabling above the ceiling, down the walls into these jacks, and then I can use a 5, 10, 15-foot patch cable from my PC into that outlet. And then when it goes back in the closet, the admin can plug your port into the appropriate switch or device, whatever it happens to be. So in a business environment like this is the structure we need. We need a structure like this to make it work. All right, so we have all the patch cables now for the closet end and now the user end. Great. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come back in the next podcast and we'll finish up our lab.